Dr. Karthikeyan, Dr. Subbayan, when they are all here, you should take, if they are coming, you know everybody they are coming, you will have to approach them. You will have to come and meet them. Sir, I would like to know from you all those things. That approach should become there. We will facilitate all those things. We will facilitate. Suppose if you want to invite them for a day to discuss internally along with him, yes, the opportunity is there. He is willing to come. Opportunity that this initiative will have to come from you. Once you commit, I am a facilitator. I will make all the facilities for you to talk to them, get to know them, and arrive at a solution for problems, if any, so that you can really achieve something in your life. So therefore, this an opportunity is here. I don't want to make a long speech or anything. What I would like to make every one of you to feel, to understand your capability, not that anyone inferior. Everybody is superior. You should always think like that. Yes, I am capable. If you think that you are capable, certainly you are rich. There's no end. You will go on raising your... there are many examples I can go on talking it, but this is not the time because we are going to hear from both Dr. Karthikeyan as well as Padmabhushan and Sivadana Pillai. Therefore, I will stop my speech with this, and I wish that all the students studying in our college achieve the best. And with these few words, I hope that you will all come up with your expectations of the parents who are all here. They are all expecting you something very big from all of you, only a few of them there. All the parents would like to see each one of you to come up, get an award, honor in the hands of celebrities like DRK and Dr. Sivadana Pillai. With this, I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. History has demonstrated that the winners usually encountered heartbreaking obstacles before they triumphed. They won because they had faith in themselves. A man who firmly believes in what he does and always looks for ways of overcoming obstacles is our trustee, Dr. M.P. Vijayakumar, former IAS. Sir, we now request you to deliver a special address.
Chief guest, Dr. DRK, respected guest of honor, Dr. Sivadana Pillai, respected chairman, Sri Saravanan, Managing Director of Bannari Ammal Sugars, respected members of Governing Council, Principal, Chief Executive, professors, members of faculty, my dear student friends, parents, and distinguished invitees. At the outset, I feel I deem it a privilege and honor to stand before you on this pleasant morning. What a beautiful hall this is. What a beautiful hall. You know how long did our chairman take to make this hall? Do you know? How long did he take to make this air-conditioned hall with seating capacity of 2,000 members? Can you guess? How many months? 1 month? Not even a month. It was started in February 12th. And on March 10th, it was handed over. And this year, February, had only 29 days. It is not even a month. And he was also mentioning about our college. See, what a beautiful premises we have. You know how many trees we have in our campus? 12,500 trees. We have 12,500 trees in the campus. What a salubrious climate we have. What an atmosphere we have. You know how much land we have? It's okay? You know how much land we have in the campus? 180 acres. But whereas government says it is enough you have 5.5 acres to start an engineering college. Government's requirement is only 5.5 acres, but whereas chairman has given us 180 acres. The total built-up area for the college is 29 lakh square feet. 29 lakh square feet as against the requirement of about 10 to 12 lakh square feet. It is enough we have 12 lakhs of square feet as prescribed by AICTE. But we have 29 lakhs. You know what for all these things have been done by him? What was his suggestion? What was his advice? He says opportunities available, resources are available, make use of it. This is a time. This is what he says. ஒரு அருமையான திருக்குறள். அன்பும் அறனும் உடைத்தாயின் இல்வாழ்க்கை பண்பும் பயனும் அது. இல்வாழ்க்கை எனும் ஒரு அமைப்புக்கு பண்பு இருக்கணும், பயன் இருக்கணும். பண்புன்னு சொல்றது இட்ஸ் ஆட்ரிபியூட்ஸ், இட்ஸ் கேரக்டர், இட்ஸ் நேச்சர், அதுதான் பண்பு. பயன்னு சொல்றது இட்ஸ் யூஸ்ஃபுல்னஸ், இட்ஸ் அவுட்கம், இட்ஸ் யூட்டிலிட்டி. அன்பும் அறனும் உடைத்தாயின் இல்வாழ்க்கை பண்பும் பயனும் அது. இல்வாழ்க்கைக்கு பண்பு என்னன்னா அன்பு. அன்பாக இருப்பது, அன்பாக பழகுவது, அன்பாக பேசுவது இல்வாழ்க்கையின் பண்பு. இல்வாழ்க்கையின் பயன் அரண், எல்லோருக்கும் நல்லது செய்வது. இந்த எதுக்கு திருக்குறள்னா, ஒரு எந்த பொருள் எடுத்தாலும் அந்த பொருளுக்கு ஒரு சில பண்புகள் இருக்கும், அந்த பொருளுக்கு ஒரு பயனும் இருக்க வேண்டும். இந்த ஒரு உதாரணத்துக்கு இந்த பேனாவை எடுத்துட்டா, இந்த பேனாவுடைய பண்பு நீல கலர்ல இருக்குது. The pen has to write. It is a ball pen. It has to write. It should have a cover. These are all its attributes. But the utility and usefulness, I must use this pen and write something useful. This is its outcome. Now, we have this college now. The college has certain attributes. As I mentioned to you, it's a sprawling premises, beautiful atmosphere, extraordinarily good climate. It has certain attributes. Now, what is its usefulness? பண்பு இது, பயன் என்ன? எனக்கு ஒரு டாக்டர் எஸ்விபியை நான் சின்ன வயசுலேருந்து தெரியும். நான் ஒரு அண்ணனாக தான் பார்க்கறது உண்டு. இந்த 6-7 ஆண்டுகளாக, for the last 6-7 years, I've been interacting with more closely. First 4-5 years peripherally, but the last 3-4 years intensely. Now I used to admire him. He commands so much of respect wherever he goes. He commands so much of respect wherever he goes. And whatever he does, you see the galaxy of stalwarts in the dais. You know for whose sake they have come here? It's only because of his friendship, goodwill, love and affection. I have many IAS friends. Even the most cantankerous officer used to respect him for his simplicity, humility, and humbleness. So I used to wonder, why not I become SVB? Why not I emulate him? Why not I also command a respect like him? So what I thought, all right, he wears white and white. Let me also wear white and white dress. I started wearing. But unfortunately, he has got a black hair, which I can't afford. There is very little. So I thought, let me not have it at all. So I started emulating him. And he is a very ardent devotee, a very religious person, very spiritual person. I started pretending that I am also religious and spiritual. Already, my family used to blame me that I am a useless fellow and I don't contribute anything to the family. உங்களுக்கு சாப்பாடு போடுறதே தண்டம். ஆக்சுவலி நீ சாப்பாடு போடலன்னா போனா பனானா சாப்பிட்டுக்கன்னு சொல்றேன். So this is what my family used to blame me. But after I started pretending SVB, that is further aggravated. It got exasperated. You see, if I felt that I can act like him, pretend like him, and earn respect, command respect. Not so. SVB is respected not for his dress, not for his attire, not for his hairstyle. He is respected for his contribution to society. He is respected because he is useful to others. Therefore, I realized that if I need to emulate Dr. SVB, I must also become useful. Now, you are all going to be engineers. If you draw the same analogy, if you have to be good engineers, useful engineers, what do we do? We spent about 4 years in the college, and our intention is to make you a good engineer. What are the attributes of a good engineer when you complete your 4 years' time? There are 3 important attributes. If you want to be a good engineer, you must possess 3 important attributes. Number 1, a good, sound domain knowledge. Knowledge in your subject. When I say sound knowledge in the subject, an in-depth knowledge, an analytical knowledge which you can apply, which you can evaluate and create. For instance, if I say I know Ohm's law, I can recite Ohm's law, but if you ask me to design a small circuit using Ohm's law, if I am not able to do, then that knowledge is useless. What good is that knowledge? I am slightly obese. I am 66 years old now. I am slightly obese and slightly overweight. I know full well that I must reduce my weight by 3 kilograms. I should not take sweets. I must do exercise regularly. This is the knowledge I have, but I don't practice. I know full well that I should not take sweets, but I keep taking sweets morning and afternoon. So your knowledge is useless unless you apply. Gone are the days people say that knowledge is powerful. It is not so. Knowledge alone is not powerful. Unless you use the knowledge and create, apply, and contribute, the knowledge will not be useful. See, if we have to give you this skill of sound domain knowledge, the second attribute which an engineer should possess is good communication skills. You must be able to speak well, articulate well, express well. There is a second skill. Third skill, we are in a democracy. We don't resolve our disputes by shooting and killing. The democratic spirits, teamwork, mutual respect, these are the 3 important skills that every engineer should possess when you graduate. This is what an employer looks for. Let us say 50% in the hall do not know how to swim. And if I try to teach you how to swim in this hall for 1 week continuously, I'll show some demo, I'll show you some DVD. Will you be able to swim? You can't swim. If you want to learn swimming, you need to swim. If you want to learn cycling, you need to cycle. If we try to teach you certain skills without practice, it is not possible. If you want all the 3 skills at the end of the 4th year, it won't come to you like a magic. That is why we have introduced our classroom structure. We have completely transformed classroom structure. We have stopped all these boring, continuous, monotonous lectures. In the classroom, we give you opportunity to practice the skills. You are expected to read on your own, discuss on your own with your friends, and draw a concept map, just to recall. We also give you opportunity to make a presentation in the classroom. When we expect you to make a presentation at the end of the 4th year, unless you give opportunity every day to practice, it won't come to you like a magic. So this is what we give you. The opportunity is given to you. We are giving opportunity for you to practice them. No, it is your duty to practice. And we also have certain rules in the college. It is like this. When you want to play cricket, we have rules in the cricket. There has to be 11 players, 1 batsman, others will be fielding, bowling. There are rules. Suppose somebody say, I will not adhere to rule. 5 people will go together simultaneously and play and bat. Is it possible? Therefore, in the college, when we have responsibility to train you, to motivate you, we have certain rules. The rules are meant only for your welfare. When we say cell phone is the biggest distractor in the college, therefore we say please don't bring cell phone to in the academic area. This is one of the very important condition which we are requesting you. Similarly, your outing hours. Now 99% of us have realized and we are adhering. But there is 1 or 2% students who have not understood it, they still resist. They feel that we are unnecessarily interfering in their freedom. You see, when we say freedom, in a democracy we have freedom. He has got a long umbrella with a sharp edge on the one side. He started walking in the road. He started swinging his umbrella. In a crowded road, when he started swinging the umbrella, the sharp edge started hurting others. So one fellow came and said, see, what are you doing? Why are you swinging? We are all getting hurt. But then this man said, this is a democracy, I have freedom. I have freedom to walk, I have freedom to swing. Then the other man said, your freedom stops where my nose starts. In democracy, you have freedom, but it's only restricted freedom. Therefore, all our request is, whatever rules we have in the college is meant for you. What was chairman's message? Even today he said, make use of the opportunity. So the college rules are meant for you. The process have been completely revamped to give you opportunity to practice all your employable skills. Kindly make use of the skills. And at the end of the 4th year, you must possess these skills: sound domain knowledge, you must be able to express well, and you must have the spirit of teamwork. So these are the 3 skills which you should imbibe, and you must also become a person who can contribute to the society. You must be able to create, you must be able to innovate. I'll just give you one example and conclude my speech. For innovation, in any organization, only a person who is useful to him organization will be respected. If SVB is respected because of his contribution to the society, his contribution to the college, his contribution to revamping, building the characters and future of thousands and thousands of students. Now, the wheel, the sacrum, you know who invented wheel? You know who invented wheel? When was the wheel invented? We don't know. But about 6,000 years before, in Mesopotamian civilization, there were traces of the existence of wheel. The wheel as such, the circular wheel alone will not be enough. It has to rotate on an axle. So the wheel and axle concept was critical. The wheel and axle has been existing for 6,000, 7,000 years. And do you know when was the traces of suitcase found? Again in Ice Age. In Ice Age, along with mummies, they found the traces of suitcases. But the modern suitcase developed in 1900. But it struck to somebody in 1970 that this carrying suitcase is so difficult, and they combined this wheel and suitcase and made it a rolling suitcase. So what a great innovation, which has completely done away with the hassles of a travel. Therefore, innovation does not mean it is not a rocket science, it is not extraordinarily technical, small ideas, but once you involve, once you have sound domain knowledge, once you start thinking, it is possible. Therefore, make use of the opportunity, acquire sound knowledge, develop your communication skills, be a team player, and this alone will help you in your future. 2 நாளைக்கு முதல்ல ஒரு விழாவில் ஒரு அருமையான பாரதியின் பாடலை இறைவணக்கமாக பாடினார்கள். எத்தனை கோடி இன்பம் வைத்தாய் இறைவா இறைவா இறைவா. என்ன அருமையான பாடல். இந்த உலகத்தில் நம்ம பார்த்து ரசிக்க வேண்டியது எத்தனை இருக்குது, பார்த்து அனுபவிக்க வேண்டியது எத்தனை இருக்கிறது என்ற அருமையான பாரதியின் பாடலுடன் கூறி உங்கள் அனைவருக்கும் எனது மனமார்ந்த நல்வாழ்த்துக்களை தெரிவித்து விடுகிறேன். நன்றி, வணக்கம்.
Thank you, sir. Great leaders don't set out to be a leader, they set out to make a difference. Such a leader is our guest of honor, Padma Bhushan Dr. A. Sivatanu Pillai, distinguished scientist and former Chief Controller, R&D, DRDO, and founder CEO and MD, BrahMos Aerospace. This stalwart is inspired by great visionary leaders like Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, Professor Satish Dhawan, and Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, who kindled in him the passion towards technology, which later turned him to be a leader in the field of launch vehicles and guided missiles. This great visionary's contribution towards ISRO is remarkable. This dynamic personality, through his relentless pursuit of excelling in the entrusted responsibilities, earned the appreciation of all, and he is regarded as the father of BrahMos, which has become a role model for establishing joint ventures between the countries. His zest for excellence made him proud recipient of various awards like Technology Leadership Award, Dr. Vikram Sarabhai Research Award, Organization for Industrial, Spiritual and Cultural Advancement International Award from Japan, Raja Ram Mohan Puraskar, Performance Excellence Award from Institution of Industrial Engineering, and most importantly, Padma Shri in 2002 and Padma Bhushan in 2013 by the Government of India for his contribution to aerospace and missile technologies, and Order of Friendship by the Government of Russian Federation, the highest Russian award for the foreign citizens of highest order. Sir, the dais is all yours.
எல்லோருக்கும் என் அன்பார்ந்த வணக்கம். Bernard Shaw said once, imagination is the beginning of creation. You imagine what you desire. You will what you imagine. And at last, you create what you will. This is a very golden statement. Subsequently, Thiruvalluvar, Dr. Abdul Kalam, Mahatma Gandhi, all have conveyed the same message. You should think high about you. You should think big about you. And it is achievable. Respected Chairman, Dr. Balasubramaniam, respected Chief Guest, Dr. Karthikeyan, the former Director CBI and the Human Rights Commission. Respected dignitaries on the dais, who are members of the Governing Council, Principal, Chief Executive, faculty members, parents, guests, my dear students, friends from the media, and for all of you, my greetings. I'm indeed delighted to be with you to participate in this annual day, which is a very important day for you. You have completed your course, almost you have completed. This is the final year. And I understand some first year students are also there. It gives me immense pleasure to see in this August gathering the bright, young, dynamic, and ignited minds and budding entrepreneurs. That is a trend now. They want to become entrepreneurs and startups, representing the youth of India, who are going to define and shape our country's glorious future. I congratulate the management, principal, and the outstanding faculty for molding you all to take up higher responsibilities in the years to come. I wish you to blossom in your career with bright and prosperous life and make your institution, that is BIT, proud all the time to come. You know, life is a very important thing. Human race is a real marvelous creation of God. Aridu, aridu, manidar adal aridu. There was a poet in 13th century, Persian poet, Jalaluddin Rumi. He says, often quoted by Dr. Abdul Kalam, he says, You were born with potential. You were born with goodness and trust. You were born with ideas and dreams. You were born with greatness. You were born with wings. You were not meant for crawling. So don't. You have wings. Learn to use them to fly. What is the wing you have got now? You have got from BIT the very valuable education. When you get a degree, that gives you the wings. With the wings, you should fly, don't crawl. That's the meaning of the Sufi poet. Life, you should not make it small. There was one person, very cautious man. Very, very cautious. He won't take any risk in life. Who never laughed nor cried. He never risked. He never lost or gained. He never won or tried. And one day he passed away. His insurance was denied. They wanted to know why. Insurance says, insurance for sins he never really lived. They claimed he never died. So life, if you see the life is for enjoyment, life is to be pleasant, life is to take risk. Without risk, nothing comes. You are seeing Dr. Karthikeyan. Without risk, you would not have got hold of the culprits who are trying to damage your country. So he was the SIT chief to do that, hero of our country. So like this, you have to take risk in life, then only you will become big. When I talked about the brain, you know what is our brain? You are all having brain. What you have got now from BIT is the software. Brain is a hardware. It has got 86 billion neurons, each brain. Most of the neurons are not active. When you get into education, when you get knowledge, that becomes the software, it makes it to activate. So, the amazing capability of yours come when you really trigger them. Why I am saying that is, if you see India had great minds. All science came from India, mathematics came from India, medicine came from India, surgery came from India, zero came from India, and Einstein says, we owe a lot to the Indians who taught us how to count, without which no worthwhile scientific discovery could have been made. So we have got the praise from Einstein, saying that India was the great nation. But what happened to India? India, for last 2000 years, we were degraded, our prosperity came down, many rulers came, we did not participate in the Industrial Revolution, finally we have become smaller people, and our mind also has become smaller. From such a great people, our mind also came down. But after the independence, some leaders came who thought that India should progress. That's why they made 5-year plans, and a lot of initiative was given in science and technology. You see, today we are producing 262 million tons of food grains, a green revolution. We are the largest producer of milk in the world, white revolution. We are making, we are second in the world in rice and wheat. You know, like this, we are moving up. IT, you have seen IT, last year we have got $120 billion earning we have got through IT. Pharma, we are doing very well, we are 4th in the world. So we are moving up in every field, we are moving up, particularly in the strategic system. If you see, after Homi Bhabha gave a plan, 3-pronged approach for developing the nuclear energy in the country, we have progressed a lot. So the major attempt now is to convert that nuclear energy to power, electric power. Why we should have a nuclear program for our country? We were thrown as a small country, even though we are the largest democratic country in the world, we are not given any respect in the United Nations Security Council. Only 5 countries are members in the United Nations Security Council: USA, Russia, China, UK and France. Why? They have got ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missile. they have got nuclear warheads. So the nuclear is the power. That's why Homi Bhabha thought that to make India powerful, we should go for nuclear energy. So that we progressed, and today we have nuclear warhead. Then came Abdul Kalam. He thought that we should have the carrier to take it to distance. That is, now we have got Agni, which is 5,000 kilometer range. So when you have a very big capability with the Agni, 5,000 kilometer, and when we have the nuclear warhead with you, you don't have an enemy up to 5,000 kilometers. That's the idea. Not only that, we have to say our country is a great, powerful nation. That's the message you are giving, plus you are making our country peaceful. Then only development comes. Similarly, technology. When you take different technologies, one is space technology. We are doing very well in space program. We are self-reliant in space program. We have got our own launch vehicles, PSLV and GSLV, which can put satellites in different orbits. Recently, we have got, last week we had a flight of the PSLV, which put the 6th IRNSS, that is our Indian Regional Navigation Satellite. And we are going to launch one more in April, with which we will be having a full a GPS system of our own that we are going to have. Similarly, communication, remote sensing, we have mastered. Today, the world is looking at us to use our space technology for them. So that way, we have grown in space technology. The vision of Dr. Sarabhai to make India a nation to use space technology for the benefit of the people is being fulfilled. That one. Second technology which we have mastered is missile technology. When we launched the missile program, Integrated Guided Missile Development Program, in 1983, conceived by Dr. Abdul Kalam, the big countries imposed controls on India. That is called Missile Technology Control Regime. By that process, India will not get any component, any material, any technology will not get. So you have to create your own technology. At the same time, you should also see your technology is not making your system inferior to others. So if you have to make a system which is equivalent to others, which is the developed country, which has started the program, their development in the 40s, we are starting in 60s. So we need to put all our effort to see that we think something different. What I mean is, when you wanted to be contemporary in the technology, you have to forecast something which others don't think. We should see something which is going to be a new concept. This is what the Dr. Kalam and his team has done, which made India today proud. We have got for example, I will tell you one or two. You know, we have got a missile called Prithvi. It is a surface-to-surface missile. All the world, all missiles, say the ballistic missiles, they go in a ballistic trajectory. Ballistic trajectory is nothing but parabolic trajectory. Throughout the world. Any ballistic missile means it has to go. Physics says that. But in India, our ballistic missile does not go in ballistic trajectory. So we have got a maneuverable trajectory. Maneuverable trajectory, no one will know where the missile is going, even though they have got the capability to see from the satellite, identify the trajectory, it will not be possible for them to really know where it goes. This was first introduced by India. After 40 years, we started the program, but we have got a different technology. What I am trying to tell you is, the young minds, they think differently. It is not all these changes what has been brought in the missile program is not from the elder people. We know how to guide the people. But what has come is from the young people. Nearly 200 young people who joined the missile program, they gave this idea. Example, we want to get an accuracy for our sensor. If we have to really reach a target point, you need a sensor which gives you accuracy of the position. We don't have. India is not having. But what the four young fellows, they joined together from BE, they just passed BE, they came and they said that we will find a solution. So they made the coarse sensor, they injected a software into that and made it to work with higher accuracy. What I mean is, they characterize the sensor, put it in the simulator, they run the mission on the ground, evaluated the inaccuracies, then made a compensating software which will work with the hardware. This is a new idea which they introduced, the innovation. So innovative minds, supercomputer. When we wanted to do the Agni program, the Agni re-entry is a very, very important thing. You know that when the missile comes back from space, when you say 5,000 kilometers, the missile has to go to the space and come back. It is not in the atmosphere, it has to come back. So when it comes back at the entering into the atmosphere at 85 kilometers, is the temperature which it has to experience is 3,000 degrees centigrade. You know about Kalpana Chawla, what happened to Kalpana Chawla? You know, Kalpana Chawla, when she returned from in the space shuttle, at the re-entry point, what I am saying is 85 kilometer altitude, one of the tiles had a crack, because of which the whole space shuttle blasted off. So re-entry is a very, very important technology, and if you have to have ICBM, you need re-entry technology. That is why we concentrated on the technology which is denied to us. And these only young people, they found out a method, even though we don't have the simulating facility to do that, they found out a method how to do it. So everything is software. It's called computational fluid dynamics. Through software, the shape of the missile has been done in number of configurations. And then for each configuration, they have to identify 100,000 grid points, and each grid point is to be analyzed through the computer. Conventional computer was taking 9 days with the software which we had. So the team which was working on that thought that we should have a supercomputer. In India, supercomputer was not there when we were doing Agni program. So then we thought that we'll get a supercomputer from USA. Dr. Abdul Kalam and Arunachalam, they went all the way to Washington to plead to the Americans, you give one supercomputer, Cray XMB, which was given to for the weather studies. Similar thing you give to us. So the defense secretary there, he gave a good lunch and told them, I will give you good dinner also, but not supercomputer. So they came back without getting the supercomputer all the way. Then the young people told them, don't worry, we will do it. 14 people, young people, they joined together. They said, we will make the supercomputer. They worked for 2 years. They made a hypercube parallel processor, which was 20 times faster than the Cray XMB, which was refused to us. And we made the running time of each iteration was reduced from 9 days to 5 minutes. This is the way things have to be taken up. What it means is, unless somebody says, no, we will not give you technology, we don't do it. That is the problem with us. Our brain is very powerful, but it is sleeping all the time. You don't operate it, but when you are challenged, you cannot do the job. No, I will do the job. So we are having a reactive system we are having, but that is why I am saying we were very thankful to the Americans and others because they denied the technology to us. When technology is denied, technology is gained. If you received the technology, you would not have known anything. But because they denied, we know everything of the technology. All the denied technologies have been developed in India by the Indian scientists, mostly by young people, and I am telling you, it's a very remarkable achievement India has got. That means we are very powerful people. Our brains, I have studied the Indian brains compared to the other country brains I have studied. I can assure you, Indian brains are the best brains. You have got that potential to make India a great nation. So we have got technology, we have got the now long-range missile, we have got the nuclear power, we are the space power, so we have got strength. Our country is a strong nation. Strength respects strength. All other countries are now respecting India. You know, when we have taken almost equal position, we wanted to overtake the developed countries. There only we thought that we must develop a cruise missile. We saw in the Gulf War, the cruise missile, how it is operating, Tomahawk of the Americans, which is subsonic. Subsonic means speed is less than the speed of sound. So we decided we will make supersonic cruise missile. So we thought that we should have an engine which can give supersonic speed, and we finally found out one engine was sleeping in Russia when the Russia collapsed, USSR collapsed. The Russians were not knowing what to do, so we worked with the Russians and formed a joint venture to develop BrahMos. BrahMos is the only operational supersonic cruise missile in the world only with India. It is our Indian Army is the only land force in the world to have a cruise missile which is faster, the fastest in the world. So now, having done the supersonic, now we are looking at hypersonic. The speed should be 7 times faster. The hypersonic 7 times means nearly 7,000 km per hour speed missile. And it should also come back to us. That is like, Vishnu is having a chakra, he is having, like that it should go and come back. Operated by mind, coming back to us. Called